So the power of Revit is that you can work with a three-dimensional model. CAD was always a 2D platform, and then they adapted it to 3D. But Revit, from the ground up, was always a three-dimensional modeling software. So a lot of the times, you would want to preview your design in 3D view. And it's actually very simple. Sometimes people make it look harder than it is, but let me just walk you through like 4 clicks to get a very good looking 3D model of anything that you need to see inside of your project. All right, so jumping into Revit, I have Revit 2023. I just installed this. So I'm going to open up the sample systems project here. I had another one open earlier to try it out, but this one's just fine. So you can see that it brings you an electrical system pretty much right off the bat. And you can see that it has 3 floors. We have a transformer outside, underground conduit, and a bunch of good stuff here. So if you want to see a 3-dimensional view of this, it's very simple. You just simply select everything that you want to see, and then go up here to this icon here called Selection Box. It isolates the element that you picked and makes a 3-dimensional view of that selection. So you click on that, and right here you can see there's the items you selected, and it puts it in a nice little box for you. So right off the bat, this is pretty useful as it is, but let's make it a little more nicer to look at. Let's just go down here to visual style, and I personally like the shaded. Realistic and shaded, not too much difference, but let's click on shaded, and you can see that our elements are now solid, and you can see them a little more clearly. Let's go a step further, because you can see here that the conduits are just lines. So I want to see actual conduits. So there you go. Change your detail level from medium to fine. If it's coarse, it's lines. Yeah. So medium is lines, and then if you go to fine, that's when you see the conduit. So let's take a step back, and I want to see walls a little more clearly. Like, I don't want to be able to just glaze right through everything. Let's change the subdiscipline, or no, let's go over here, discipline. Under discipline, instead of looking at mechanical, we want to look at coordination. So coordination makes everything solid. So that's good to see the entire room, and you don't miss the fact that half of your electrical room, or not half, maybe one of the walls of the electrical room is a glass wall. So that's something that's important to catch. If you need to see inside of the room, hover your mouse over this selection box. I think it's called the selection box. Yeah. Oh, section box. My bad. It's called the section box. And then from here, you can rotate a little bit. You see these double arrows right here? There's one on this side, one on the other side, one over here, and there should be one on the top and one on the bottom. So if you click and drag this, you can see that it moves the close side of the box. So we're gonna cut as little as possible. I want to just cut a little bit of the wall. Sometimes you can actually use this cube up here. So click on top, and then you can move this pretty accurately. So you know how there's a wall here. So I would want to move it right there. So it just cuts the wall. That way I get a full view of the room without needing to cut half of the room or something. So there we go. We have our 3D view in reasonably good shape. And you can see all the equipment here. You can see how some of these columns don't seem to go. Oh, it's a round duct. Okay. Yeah, why is there ductwork running straight down the side? I thought that was column. All right, so that's steel. This is ductwork. Yeah, this is interesting. It seems to be half done for an example. So, all right, there you go. It was roughly 4 clicks. I believe you select everything. You go up here to selection box, which makes the 3D view, and then you change your detail level to fine and your visual styles to shaded. And then the rest of it's kind of optional. You can choose to make this solid if you wanted to by changing to coordination. If you change this to, say, electrical, everything else it'll be kind of hidden, and then the electrical stuff comes out. So that's good for isolating things if you wanted to, but if you want to coordinate with everything, hit coordination, and there you go. You have a nice, pretty little 3D render. sometimes looking at this, it's a little hard to see, like if you're on the ceiling, what's a diffuser and what is a lighting fixture. So what I've actually done sometimes is go under visibility graphics and apply a filter to all my electrical stuff. So let's go over here to electrical systems, electrical equipment fixture. Yeah, I want a little bit more. So let's do cable trays, conduit, data, fire alarm, lighting devices, lighting fixtures. That's what I really wanted. Okay, so we'll hit OK. And then you add a filter, electrical system, and you can override it with something. Sometimes you can do like a cyan blue or something. There you go. So this highlights all your electrical elements. So you know that that is a return diffuser. And then over here, that is a recessed lighting fixture. So that helps if you're looking mechanical and electrical side by side. So down here, yeah, see, that's all ductwork, but all of this is electrical stuff. And oh, this is fun. Do this all the time. You place a receptacle on the outside wall thinking that there's actually a wall there, but it's all glazing, just floor to ceiling glass. So that's something that's really easy to spot in a 3D view, which is why I love using three-dimensional views. So now that I have this lovely 3D view, I can actually put this on a sheet if you want to show your riser for some reason. So I have an empty sheet here. We can take this 3D view, where'd it go? 3D view here. Let's orient this in like something that looks pretty. So, maybe this way. Sure, we'll show like this view right here. So you want to lock it first. Save orientation and lock view. There we go. That way you can't rotate this. If someone was orbiting it around and then forgets to put it back to the original view, the view on the sheet will be orbited as well. So if you want to show it and present it, make sure you lock it. 3D view electrical riser. Drag that, put it right here. And we can make this maybe a little bit bigger. There we go. Oh, also probably can turn off your filter if you don't need that to show. All right, and there you go. Now you have a 3D view on your drawing. You can make this a little more useful by tagging elements within this 3D view. So just go into here and tag, which tag, yeah, there we go. Okay, so tag by category, I believe. Yeah. So now you can go through here. Here, let's start at the bottom. So we got switchboard. We have, come on. No, I don't. Oh, I see, because the curtain wall is in the way. Is this pinned? No, let's pin the curtain wall and then select disable selection of pin elements. There we go. Now I can get to my switchboard without the curtain wall getting in the way. So you can do something like, that's a little hard to read, huh? We can do box visibility. That's not helpful either. We could probably, maybe we can make this edit type. There we go. Panel name, and we want to make this background transparent. Let's make this opaque with white. Okay. Load into project. We don't need to save this right now. Okay, there we go. So I made my tags with a white background. Some may like it, some may not. But this is a easy way to get it to show up on a solid color family. So there you go. I did 2 floors just to show you how it looks like. You now have a 3D view of your electrical riser that you can put on a drawing with labels, with solid color, and you can give it a lot of context because you can show the walls, the ceiling for some reason, and the glazing on the one side. So 3D views are incredibly useful. You should use them to at least check your work and coordinate with other trades. All right, so there's your party trick of the day, how to make 3D views with pretty minimum effort. You can apply view templates, all that good stuff, and just play around with it. Have some fun. There's also a whole bunch of cool stuff quality of life improvements to Revit 23, which I'll go over in my next video. And like, for example, here's one of them real quick. You see these little squares next to the views and the panel schedules. Well, now if you drag a panel schedule to a sheet, look, it turns blue. Lets you know that it's on a sheet. Before, we'd had no idea if it was on a sheet, and sometimes if you have hundreds of them, you'll miss putting one on a sheet. So there's a lot of cool stuff coming in Revit 2023. I'm going to go over it in my next video. If you want to know when that video drops, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. If you want to talk about anything else, check out Discord and Patreon. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.